what's Irish? Because
So-
people when they think about Irish, probably they think about Irish English, English Irish, and they're not the
True.
same thing.
A lot of people think one of three things: either that Irish is a dead language, that Irish is just an accent, or what could be the third? Sometimes maybe that everyone speaks Irish in Ireland and that we don't speak English. I've even had people say to me, wow, you speak English so well. And I'm like, well, English is my first language and I'm also an English teacher. But to answer your question, Irish is a Celtic language. It's in the Goidelic branch of the Celtic languages, an Indo-European language. And it's over 2,000 years old. It's a millennium older than English. And it's indigenous to the island of Ireland. And Irish is very different from English. I mean, it still uses the Latin alphabet, although there is no J, K, Q, V, W, X, or Y, or Z in the language. But it sounds completely different. It's still spoken by about 72,000 people daily in Ireland. And it's experiencing somewhat of a resurgence. Possibly due to the pandemic, people understanding, it's an endangered language. It's listed as definitely endangered on the UNESCO Atlas of World Languages. So people really want to bring it back. Maybe with globalization and more digitalization, people are seeing online, like, wow, Ireland has its own language and it's so beautiful and vibrant and funny. And maybe because of the hipster movement as well, it's kind of cool and trendy to be into crafts and, really authentic niche things.
Exotic, yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of history.
Exactly. So the first written examples of the language are found on Ogham stones, these standing stones that can still be seen today in Wales and Cornwall, Scotland and Ireland, because the Irish language developed into Manx and Scottish Gaelic in the 7th century, thereabouts. And on these Ogham stones, you can see dashes and dots. And this was the oldest version of the writing of the language. And then maybe in the 5th century, monks translated or kind of created the Latin-based alphabet of the Irish language. But you'll see if you read an Irish word, it doesn't look like English. It doesn't really look like it's pronounced if you're coming from an English-centric.
Yeah. Because I have to say, sometimes I have tried to read something in Irish, and it's like when I heard the pronunciation, I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, true. It's like a code.
Like the letters and the sounds are not matching.
It doesn't seem to compute, but actually, it's extremely consistent, and there are these patterns that are super logical once you learn them.
I try to make this